Hey, fellow entrepreneur, imagine having a garden that waters itself, fertilizes itself, and gives you abundant harvest for more than 20 years without you having to carry buckets of water every day. It sounds impossible, right? But it exists. Germans have been using a method for centuries that is so simple and so intelligent that when you learn about it, you wonder why no one told you before. Today, I'm going to teach you this ancient secret that is changing the lives of farmers all over the world. It's not magic. It's pure wisdom of the earth. This special method is called Hugelkultur. I know the name sounds strange, but don't worry about it. The important thing is to understand what it is and why it works so well. The word comes from German and means something like mound culture or hill culture. Basically, it is a raised bed, but built in a very special way that makes it completely different from any normal garden. The idea is simple but brilliant. Instead of making your garden on flat ground, as has always been done, you build a kind of elongated mound using old logs, branches, leaves, soil, and compost. Everything is piled in layers as if you were making a giant cake of wood and earth. But it's not just a pile of things stacked at random. There is a specific order that makes everything work like a perfect machine. The logs and branches go at the bottom, the leaves and smaller materials in the middle, and the good soil on top. Each layer has its specific job. This method comes from the forests of Germany. Old farmers noticed something very interesting. In the forest, where old trees fall and rot on the ground, the greenest and strongest plants always grow. Around those rotting logs, the earth is moist and dark, full of life. So they thought, why not copy what nature does in the forest, but in our gardens? And so this method was born hundreds of years ago. It is not a new fad or a modern invention. It is ancient wisdom that works. Let me explain why this method beats a common garden by a landslide. First, the issue of water. In a normal garden, the soil dries out quickly. You water in the morning, and by the afternoon, it's dry again. You have to be watering every day or every 2 days, especially in hot weather. It's a job that never ends. With this German method, things change completely. Those logs and branches you put at the bottom act like giant sponges. They absorb water when it rains, or when you water and release it little by little over weeks and months. It's like having a buried water tank that feeds your plants all the time. You can go weeks without watering, and your plants stay happy because the wood inside gives them constant water. Second, fertilization. In a normal garden, you have to be adding manure, compost, or fertilizers often. Otherwise, the soil gets tired and the plants don't produce well. Here, something magical happens. Those logs and branches rot slowly year after year, and as they rot, they release all their nutrients little by little. It's like having a fertilizer factory working 24 hours a day inside your bed. Additionally, as the wood decomposes, it generates heat. Yes, heat. That heat keeps the roots of your plants warm, even on cold nights. Your plants grow faster and produce more because they are in perfect conditions. Third, space. One of these beds can measure 1 meter high or more. That gives you much more surface area to plant. You can also use the sides of the bed. It's like having double or triple the planting space of a flat garden of the same size. Fourth, the back. This is important, especially for older people. You don't have to bend down so much to work. The bed is raised. You can do much of the work standing up or just slightly leaning over. Your back will thank you. Now comes the good part. Let's build one together. I'm going to explain it to you as if we were there on your land doing it. Step 1, choose the place. Look for a space that gets good sun during the day. Don't do it under large trees that take away all the light. Also, don't do it where water puddles a lot when it rains. The bed can be as long as you want. Some make beds of 3 meters, others of 10. The width is better if it is 1 meter or 1.5 meters maximum. That way you can reach the center from the sides without having to climb on top. Step 2, mark the ground. With stakes and a string, mark where your bed is going to go. If you want, you can dig the ground a little, about 20 or 30 centimeter deep, but it's not mandatory. Some do it right on the grass. Step 3, the first layer of thick logs. Here you use the fattest logs you have, old rotten logs that are no longer useful for firewood. The older and softer, the better you arrange them lengthwise at the bottom. It doesn't matter if they are crooked or ugly logs. In fact, ugly logs with branches and knots are better because they leave more air spaces between them. Those spaces are important. If you don't have thick logs, you can use large branches. The important thing is to put a good base of thick wood. Step 4, fill the gaps. Between the logs, many empty spaces will remain. There you put medium branches, smaller pieces of wood, thin logs. The idea is to fill those gaps. This layer of thick wood should be about 50 to 70 centimeter high. It is the base of everything. Don't skimp here. Step 5, layer of thin branches and leaves. On top of the logs, you put a good layer of thin branches, dry twigs, dry leaves, dry grass, whatever you have. This layer can be about 30 centimeter. This layer helps prevent the soil from falling between the large logs, and it acts as a filter. Step 6, layer of green material. Here you put green leaves, fresh grass, kitchen scraps, manure if you have it, everything that is green and moist material. This layer can be 20 centimeters. Green material rots quickly and generates heat. It also provides nitrogen, which is the nutrient that plants need most to grow green and strong. Step 7, compost or black soil. On top of everything, you put a good layer of compost or very good black soil. This layer should be at least 20 to 30 centimeters. This is where the roots of your plants will grow directly. If you have compost already made, use it. If you don't have any, use the best soil you have. You can mix it with a little well-decomposed old manure. Step 8, last layer of normal soil. On top of the compost, you put a final layer of normal soil of about 10 centimeters. This top soil doesn't need to be super rich. It's just to cover everything well. And that's it. You have your German bed built. It will look like an elongated mound 1 meter or more high. It looks impressive. The first year your bed is going to be full of fresh nutrients. Take advantage of it to plant crops that need a lot of food. Pumpkins, cucumbers, tomatoes, potatoes, sweet corn, everything that is big and hungry goes perfectly the first year. You can plant everywhere, on the flat top and also on the sloping sides. Pumpkins are perfect on the sides because their vines fall naturally. The second and third year, the bed is still very rich. You can continue planting demanding crops without a problem. From the fourth year onwards, the bed settles a little. It is no longer as spongy as at the beginning, but it is still excellent for any crop. In fact, many say that from the fifth year onwards is when it produces best. Here's the best part of all. The first year after building your bed, water it well so that everything settles and the wood absorbs water. After that, watering is greatly reduced. In the rainy season, you practically don't need to water. The bed absorbs the rainwater and stores it. In the dry season, you are going to water much less than a normal garden, maybe once a week or every 10 days, depending on the heat. I have heard of people who have these beds in dry places and go up to 2 weeks without watering. The plants stay perfect because the internal wood supplies them with constant moisture. Over time, the bed settles and decreases in height. This is normal. The wood decomposes and compacts. Every year you can add a new layer of compost or soil on top to maintain the height. Some also add dry leaves as mulch. That helps maintain moisture and adds more organic material that gets incorporated. Error number 1, using treated or painted wood. Never use logs that have been treated with chemicals, painted or varnished. Those chemicals will leach into the soil and your plants. Only use natural wood. Error number 2, not putting enough wood. Some, out of laziness or because they don't have much wood, make the bed with little wood. Then it doesn't work well. You need a good amount of logs for the effect to be real. Error number 3, using only one type of material. The magic is in the layers. If you only put logs in soil, it doesn't work the same. You need that variety of materials decomposing at different speeds. Error number 4, making the bed too wide. If you make it 2 meters wide, you won't be able to reach the center. You're going to have to climb on top and you're going to compact the soil. Keep the width manageable. Error number 5, getting desperate because you don't see immediate results. The first month the bed is settling, give it time. From the second or third month is when it starts to show its true power. This method is ideal if you are tired of carrying water every day. If your back can no longer stand being bent over for hours in the garden, if you live in a place where water is scarce, if you want a productive garden without killing yourself working, it is perfect for older people because it reduces physical effort by half. No more bending down to the ground. No more carrying buckets of water every day. It is excellent for places with drought because water is used to the maximum. Nothing is wasted. Everything is stored in that giant wood sponge. It is ideal if you have poor or bad soil because basically you are creating new, rich, and life-filled soil on top of whatever you have. It's great if you want to produce a lot in a small space. A bed 3 meters long by 1 wide can give you impressive harvests, and best of all, it lasts for decades. A well-made bed can be producing for 20, 30, or even 40 years. Imagine you do the heavy work only once, and then you harvest for decades. Let me tell you something fascinating that happens inside your bed. When the wood begins to rot, it fills with fungi. These fungi are not bad. They are good fungi that help the plants. They form microscopic networks that connect with the roots. These fungal networks are like the internet for plants. They help them get water and nutrients from places where the roots alone would not reach. It is a relationship of mutual help that exists in all natural forests. Additionally, the rotting wood fills with insects, earthworms, and microorganisms, all working without rest, decomposing, aerating, and fertilizing the soil. It's like having an army of invisible workers taking care of your garden. That wood also works like air conditioning. In the day, it absorbs heat, and at night, it releases it. It keeps the temperature more stable. Your plants don't suffer so much from sudden changes in temperature. If you live in a very dry place, make your bed a little lower and wider. This way, it retains moisture better, and the sun doesn't dry out the sides as much. If you live in a very humid place where it rains a lot, make your bed taller and narrower. This way, it drains better and the roots don't rot. If you live in a cold place, make your bed orientated east to west so that it receives more sun during the day. The heat from the decomposing wood will help keep the roots warm. If you live in a very hot place, you can put large stones between the logs at the bottom. The stones hold coolness and help keep the soil cooler. The beauty of this method is that it adapts. It is not a rigid recipe. You can adjust it to what you need. This German method is not magic or complicated science. It is simply copying what nature has been doing for millions of years in the forest. It is working with the earth, not against it. The next time you see an old log lying in the field, don't see it as rubbish. See it as the heart of a future bed that will give you food for decades without you having to kill yourself working. Our grandparents always said that the earth gives back what you give it. With this method, you give it love, work, and natural materials once, and it gives you back abundant harvests for years and years. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to spend money. You just need the desire to try and the materials that nature itself gives you. If this story changes the way you look at the fallen logs in the woods, please subscribe and like our channel. We are unearthing the history they tried to bury. Plant the future. The next treasure will soon be revealed.